So let's talk about DevOps. It was all started by this book by Nicole Forsgren, Jez Humble, and Gene Kim. It's called Accelerate, and it detailed the work that Nicole had done in going out to software organizations, over 2,000 of them, and having them fill in surveys about their performance, whether they were high-performing teams or not. And so what they discovered was that to remain competitive, organizations must move quickly. They have to accelerate. They have to accelerate the delivery of goods and services that satisfy their customers, that delight their customers even. They have to engage with the market to detect and understand customer demand. Today, you can't think that you know your customer. You can't just sit back. You have to collect data on them and really understand how they use your product, and indeed, if your product satisfies their real demands. And anticipate compliance and regulatory changes. Get engaged early in those. This is particularly important for banks. Respond to potential risks such as cybersecurity threats or changes to the economy. And for all organizations today, software is the key. And focus on the capabilities that you have, not on the maturity. The maturity models just don't work. So first, the factors that do not determine performance. Age of the technology and the technology used. That is, systems of record versus greenfield. You may have legacy systems. It shouldn't stop you performing. Whether operations or development teams perform deployment doesn't make a difference. Whether or not PPA, change approval board, is implemented. So it doesn't make a difference if you have sign-offs from 1, 2, or 3 levels above. It doesn't improve the quality of your code. Metrics that do not measure the performance. So lines of code. Coders will be tempted to pad their code if you measure lines of code. Velocity, e.g., in the agile method of developing software, the stories and number of points. That doesn't make any difference to performance. Utilization. So you shouldn't try and be 100% utilized. All your people shouldn't be working flat out. Queuing theory shows that lead time rise as utilization nears 100%. You'll be better off if your team is not 100% busy. So here are some of the differences between old style design and delivery in the new. So the old style product design and development, create new products and services that solve customer problems. Use hypothesis-driven delivery, i.e., you're just going to sit back and think you know your customer. So let's compare old style product design and development with modern product delivery. Build, test, deploy, build, test, deploy. So in the old days, create new products and services that solve customer problems. You assume you know the customer problems. Perhaps you're using design thinking and you've got modern user interface. Feature design and implementation may require work that's never been performed before. Estimates are highly uncertain, outcomes highly variable. In the new build, test, deploy environment, you're going to deploy a minimum viable product first. So enable fast flow from development to production and reliable releases by standardizing work and reducing variability and batch sizes. Integration, test, and deployment must be performed continuously and quickly. Lifecycle should be well known and predictable. Outcomes should have low variability. So that's the new way of developing products. Metrics that do measure performance. So software delivery performance, lead time, so the time from getting an idea to delivery, the deployment frequency, how fast do you deploy, mean time to restore, and change fail rate. So these are metrics that do measure performance. So this was software delivery performance in 2016 for the various levels of company. So high performers, deployment frequency was multiple times a day. Lead time to change, less than an hour. Mean time to recovery, less than an hour. Change fail rate, 0 to 15%. And you'll see the medium performance and the low performers. There's some mix between those, but typically deployment frequency is between a month and 6 months. Lead time between a month and 6 months. Mean time to recovery, less than a day. That's actually quite good. Change fail rate, 16 to 30%. In 2017, these are the numbers. So again, deployment frequency for high performers, multiple times a day. Low performers, between a week and a month. So they'd improved. Lead time for change, less than an hour. For low performers, between 1 week and 1 month. Mean time to recovery, less than an hour for the good ones, between a day and a week. So change fail rate, 0 to 15%. Medium performers achieve that as well. That's good. Low performers, 31 to 35% fail rate. So that's not so good. So these are the 5 categories of capabilities that they looked at. Continuous delivery, architecture, that's your software architecture, your product and processes, lean management and monitoring, and cultural. So this is what they found for continuous delivery, version control, deployment automation, continuous integration, trunk-based development. They're talking about how you check in code here to, for example, GitHub, test automation, test data management, and shift left on security. You need to push that back up into design, and continuous delivery. Lean management and monitoring. A lot of this came from lean engineering. Change approval processes, keep them lean. Monitoring, you need them. Proactive notification, do it. Work in progress, limit the work in progress and see if you can visualize it. In software, it's particularly difficult to visualize work in progress, but you need some way of doing that. Westrum's categories, go through those. So with capability models, focus on capabilities and not maturity. So this is the Agile Scrum, which everyone's familiar with, but that's used because in general, we need to move quickly, we need to be agile. Accelerate the non-functional requirements. So these are things like scalability and reliability. Make decisions based on measurement, so database decision making. Try to minimize your technical debt. This is an employee net promoter score. This is whether people in your company promote your company. Do they think it's great? Are they pleased to be working there? And look at the Westrum model. So it's all about getting from idea to product as fast as you can. So this is what DevOps is all about. And so the top companies are moving 440 times faster than the slow. 46 more frequent deployment of code, 400 times faster lead time from commit to deploy, 170 times faster mean time to recover from downtime, and 5 times lower change failure rates. So they've gone basically from months to hours. So this is what DevOps is all about, and we'll talk more in discussions about how it can apply to your company. Bye for now.